Two of this year's MVP candidates had another week of incredible individual performances, and hey, they're playing each other in Week 16. We're going to talk about those guys in this week's edition of Shorts and Shells. That's Texans D lineman J.J. Watt and Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. And Eric, let's start with Peterson. On the Vikings, a team that you cover, he just continues to shock everyone. You know he's getting the ball. It's not like Christian Ponder's going to be throwing it 40 times a game. There's stuff in the box. He runs for 212 yards against a Rams team that's not too shabby defending the run. He only used 294 in the last 2 games to break Eric Dickerson's record a year after tearing his ACL.
Is there any doubt he's going to do it? I mean, at this point, you know, he's so focused in. I mean, Sunday's performance was just amazing. And to me, you know, it's just impressive. You know, of course, he takes the ball 82 yards for a touchdown, but it's also those hard cuts where he plants on that injured leg and is able to shift gears and go in a different direction. Those are the ACL plays. Those are the plays I look at and say, oh, he's going to get hurt himself again. No way. This guy is a top form athlete, one of the rare specimens in this league. And he's playing at an absolutely different level than any back we've seen in the last few years.
I think that's amazing when you talk about comeback player of the year arguments, or now MVP, now that Peterson's in there, is the fact that he's not only having an improved year off the ACL, he's having the best year of his career and could end up having the best running back year in the history of the NFL. It's just remarkable what he's doing, and I'm sure people got to factor that in, but as I mentioned earlier, with that Vikings team, it's not like anybody has any question he's getting the ball, and he still does it.
Yeah, and he's 28 years old, so I mean, this is later on in the running back age, and we used to say that 30 was the wall. I've seen some guys hit the wall sooner than 30 years old, so Peterson's at that age where you think he might start going downhill. No, he's only getting better. He's getting smarter. He's more patient. He's letting holes open up. That offensive line, I think it has blocked better for him. There's no question about it. It's a better group. But the fact that he's playing at this level, coming off that injury, with the deficient passing game and no one to throw to out there, amazing.
On the other side of the ball, in the other conference, and on the other side of the line, who he'll face next Sunday is J.J. Watt. And I saw a tweet from John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. He said, J.J. Watt's having the best game of his season. And I thought, wait a second, J.J. Watt, he's had every game's been the best game of his season.
True.
And then you look at his numbers from Sunday's win over the Colts: 10 tackles, 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. Obviously, that class with Aldon Smith, Von Miller, they're having great seasons too. But J.J. Watt is just a disruptive force that we haven't seen in this game in a while.
Let's break down those numbers real quick. Forced fumble, that's outstanding. 10 tackles for a defensive lineman, really rare. You don't see that happen too often. 3 sacks, that's a hallmark game for any D lineman. But 6 tackles for loss, that's the impressive one. I don't care if you're playing against a college sophomore. To be able to get into the backfield, penetrate that many times, and wrap up, and make the plays. I mean, I don't know why people don't treat him the way the Patriots did. And that's the thing. They committed a series of people to block him, schemes to move away from him, and he still hit Tom Brady a number of times. I thought he played a great game against New England, even though he didn't get all the statistics. Today, Sunday, he got the statistics. What an incredible performance. What's going to happen when Watt and Peterson collide? Will there be like a vortex that opens up in the middle of the field? I can't wait to find out.
Watt on the other end of that age spectrum, just his 2nd season in the NFL. Keep in mind, this is a guy who transferred to Wisconsin, was a tight end earlier in his college career, and has turned into just one of the best defensive players. And he's an end in a 3-4. I mean, you just don't see this from a guy at that position. But the one thing you mentioned about these 2 guys colliding, ironically, I feel like the Vikings are going to use Adrian Peterson to try to neutralize J.J. Watt, to try to keep him back if they just continue to hand the ball off. But I'm sure at some point J.J. Watt's going to try to find a way to bring him down behind the line.
Right, and they'll move him around like they did against the Patriots. You know, they've used him as a tackle in their nickel defense. They've moved him into different techniques. You know, I mean, there's really not a lot you can do. I mean, you have to identify him on every snap, but he's just as effective rushing the passer inside. Now, we'll see what Peterson can do to combat that, but I mean, Watt, to me, is this generation's Bruce Smith. He's a 3-4 end who can play inside. He can play all the way outside in a wide technique, rush the passer, stop the run. He's just amazing.
Well, these 2 guys have been so fun to watch this season. We'll get to see them play each other next week in a big game for the Minnesota Vikings, still in the playoff hunt, and the Texans trying to get up and keep that first-round bye. So we'll see what happens when those 2 individual forces meet. To see more of Eric's Week 15 observations, check out his Shorts and Shells column at our website, ProFootballWeekly.com.